I've come to realize, I was like, you know what? If I just put the work in and put my all in, like, just trust the process. You're not always going to do great. You're not always going to win. You're going to lose. You're going to get told no 80, 90% of the time. But when you trust the process, you end up in situations where you're meeting people that you looked up to, being able to just talk to them casually, DM them. You'll be able to throw out a first pitch. You'll be able to be in magazines and put yourself in a situation where you're confident as you go into a new year to really change your own life and have more control of things. But it's trusting the process. Now, if you're not putting that work in, like, every day is not going to be a great day. You're going to have days where you're just fatigued, you're tired, you don't want to do it. But, I think it was Kobe's like, don't let a few bad days knock you off your course.
See you next year. This is going to be the last episode of the 2023 year. So thanks for listening. We're going to take off next week because it's the holiday week. And we'll be back in January at some point.
What's going on, Opecast? It's Braden, STL, and today I'm here with an average guest.
Average?
Dude, you said I can't say special because I've said that every week.
Oh, true. You do say that every week.
Yeah, so we're here with Jason, the producer of Opecast. And so today we're just going to, just talk about the podcast. We're going to talk about all the random stuff I've done this year. I don't know what questions are coming my way, so...
Yeah, I got some good stuff prepared. We're going to go through sort of a year in review episode. We got it a little bit looser than normal. We got Christmas gifts going out over here. We got Orlando working on his desk over there. It's a little bit different than our normal setup, but we appreciate you guys watching. And it's the holiday season, so we're gonna do a little year in review. It's the end of the year. Time for it.
I'm excited. So it's our first one. We're gonna do these every single year for the next 30 years of this podcast.
I think every season is a more appropriate thing to say.
Season?
But yeah,
4 seasons.
I didn't count them.
Hey, I just. Yeah. So yeah, season 1. How do you feel so far?
Honestly, I think this has been a really fun experiment. This is going to be our 18th week, I believe, of putting out. Maybe we already did 18. Maybe this is our 19th week of putting out a podcast every single week. And for me, what that means is I'm staying up till 10 p.m. the night before, making sure that everything's ready to go. But it's how it is. So we get them up every week. We appreciate our loyal audience that has been there. We would love it if there were more people joining in the audience. So if you enjoy the pod, I'm pretending like there's a middle camera, but there's not. If you enjoy the pod, please share it with your friends and family. If you're seeing them this holiday season, be like, hey, I've been checking out this awesome podcast called Opecast the Pod.
Produced by Jason.
Jason. Yeah,
that's the reason to listen to it.
That's the future for real.
No, it's been amazing. A lot of people don't realize all the work that goes into it, all the text messages, the late nights, the Foodie Fridays,
all the thumbnails,
writing the description. And so, it's been really fun. Just like one of my favorite parts about it has just been sitting down and just talking to the people, learning from them, being inspired. We have a lot of amazing creators that deserve to be, highlighted, or people that have done amazing things. And so I really enjoy that. And some people, or I guess most people listening, don't realize, like, in 2020, I was going to release a podcast, and I realized it takes a team. And so I've appreciated the work you've put into it, and everyone that has listened, shared it. I appreciate y'all. And I know some people that listen every single week. I know a few couples. They're like, yeah, we listen to it. We watch it. I really appreciate you guys. So
I would say shout out to my mom, but she doesn't even watch. So
hey, shout out to my mom, my brother. I know they're listening, they're watching. Everyone, whether you watch the shorts, you share it, every guest, I appreciate you. And I'm probably going to say this all at the end of the podcast, but let's get in the year in review.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So you actually wrote this question for yourself. So this is a pretty softball question here.
Hell yeah. I wrote that, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping was happening. So Braden, why did you start this podcast?
Well, hey, thanks, Jason. So I guess I kind of talked about it a little bit, but really, I've just been able to meet so many incredible people that deserve to be highlighted. I feel like I'm a good person that really taps into all different audiences here in St. Louis. I have more of an interest in experiencing life, learning new things, trying new things. And so I'm able to indulge in a little bit of everything. And so having a podcast where I can bring in all these different types of people with all these different interests and just being able to be like kind of like the common denominator. Like each week, like people know it's going to be Brad and they don't know who's going to be on.
Right.
So, wow, I feel like that was a really good response to. I can't even remember that question.
I think the thing with a podcast, the beauty of it is, and if any of you guys watching wanted to start your own show, I actually do produce shows. The beauty of a podcast is when else do you get to sit down with somebody and have a structured conversation for an hour plus about whatever you want to ask them about.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to do an interview to a different level that would just never be achieved through any other means, especially not as a social media creator.
Yeah.
Like this is like a far more traditional media version of what we can do as social media creators.
Yeah, and I feel like I've been able to learn so much myself. Like I went from just knowing a little bit about the person, just asking them about what I've seen on their social media to, as you all could probably tell throughout the weeks, just slowly but surely getting better. And, I think, shout out to my manager, Zach. I know he's listening, but he talked about, he's like, Braden, I know you want it to be perfect, but it's going to take 100 episodes. And so my goal has been to keep growing. If you guys may have noticed a bunch of the interviews kind of being, I guess, similar because they were all recorded before we rolled out one episode.
Yeah, I mean, we recorded probably 10 episodes before we had finished posting the third episode.
Yeah. And then luckily we did that because, we were able to record ahead, but it,
by the way, if you're starting a podcast, I highly recommend that format.
Yeah.
If you can book the guests, get them all in quick because trying to record every single week is so difficult.
It takes a lot of time and coordinating with other people, life happens. But yeah, that was, really just highlighting just the people that are doing amazing things. And I'm just very fortunate to have a platform, a voice, and influence in the city that people will listen.
And, going back to what you said about it takes 100 episodes to make something perfect. One of my podcast inspirations, Matt Farah, the host of the Smoking Tire podcast, he gets, he's done 800 plus episodes of his own show.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets asked constantly, hey, Matt, I would love to have you on my show, whatever. And it's a starting up show. And his answer is, I'll be on episode 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we're rapidly going to get there, man. Like, I'm not saying we have any plans to expand to more than one a week, but like if we ever did, you know how quick we could get there.
So if you want to sponsor the podcast and you want more than one episode a week or your employer does, bam. And I don't know if people know this. Like I graduated on Cinco de Mayo, MBA, emphasis in marketing. I know St. Louis. I know marketing. I work with really large companies and very small ones. And so I'll make sure it's worth your time and your company's dollars to sponsor the podcast.
Absolutely. And you've seen the product. We do quality. That's what we do.
Yeah. So what you got next for us, man?
Well, where do we want to go? Let's go to, what are your thoughts on the current creator scene in St. Louis?
The creator scene. I think from the creator standpoint, there are a lot of incredible creators. St. Louis has so many creative people. I think that the support.
I mean, it seems like you shout out Metro Boomin and Sexy Red on every episode, so those are a couple.
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. I mean, literally Metro.
Who else do you want to shout out?
Who else would get? There are other people. They're not from St. Louis that get shout outs or shit. Actually, I'm wearing one of the shirts almost. The Lou Marinara tour. Kind of. I think Taylor Swift has gotten some shout outs on here, not intentionally. Man. Oh, hey, here we go. Bam. If you're watching, here's Trav, right? But yeah, I would say the creativity is there for our city. We just got to get the support. I think from not just the people are supporting these creators, but we got to get the businesses. We got to get the city leaders to actually support.
That's absolutely right.
And it's because it's not cheap. Buying a camera, having someone edit your podcast, having paying for an office and a studio. And if our city is going to move forward, we got to be willing to invest in them.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that St. Louis is missing from, you look at the advertising and marketing side of things, and it's like, why aren't these companies helping invest in these creators, pay them, sponsoring their projects? I'm not saying that just because I have a podcast, but it's like, you listen to anything.
Right. We look at all of our friends' stuff that they're creating too, and it's like, man, we need to be the level that we're at, the quality of the content, the audience that it's reaching. It deserves the attention from our local businesses and communities, other than just the news, other than just traditional methods of sponsorship and partnership and advertisement. billboards are cool. I look at billboards, never. You know, I
Yep.
see one a day. That's it. I see thousands of posts a day.
Well, and it's like for me, man, like, you know, I've helped spearhead and a lot of the create, you know, on social media, right? To really like help highlight local businesses, you know, short form videos, things like that. And it's just, you know, I want to continue to work with St. Louis businesses and St. Louis corporations, but we have to have everybody on board. We got to have them to help sponsor our projects because
Absolutely.
a lot of companies from outside of St. Louis are starting to work with us St. Louis creators. And it's like, St. Louis, we are creating this content to highlight you, highlight the city, make the city better.
I would even
Help
say
us.
zoom it out, Missouri,
Southern, yeah. And it's like we're
Southern
trying,
Illinois.
man. I think it's one thing that I'm seeing with our city is we're taking a lot of the things that happen with traditional media and we're starting to apply that here on the social media creator space, and that's just not going to work in the long run. And I St. Louis right now, we have so many talented and creative people that just, guys, put your dollars behind it, your advertising dollars, like it's going to come back tenfold.
Literally, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, so that's how I feel about it. I mean, we have the talent, we just need more support. You know, even on the food side, 2 beers and an appetizer isn't cutting it anymore.
2 beers and an appetizer could not pay anybody's rent.
Or for Jason's time. I've tried. He doesn't drink.
That's facts.
I'm glad you see how hard that clap is, because whenever I'm
I'm really good at clapping when I'm in my car by myself. Like I can just always go a perfect clap. But like you're right, when you're trying to do it in front of the mic and the camera, you just get nervous.
Okay, but to what song are you? Are you listening to some Aretha? You probably don't even know what Aretha is. What are you listening to?
I know who Aretha Franklin is.
What's her song? What's her song?
And the stuff that I'm listening to is, you know, I've been listening to that Drake song recently, you know.
So you clap? You're clapping to that?
Big as the what?
Big as the clap. And
Big
you're
as
like,
the big
avalanche.
Big as the avalanche. That's exactly right. All right, back into it, boys. All right. So now we get into the questions that I wrote, not the ones that Braden was softballing to himself. I think this is a good one. What is your favorite moment from this first season? From any interview that you've done, from all the guests that you've talked to, any of the clips. I mean, if you're not ready yet, I do actually have my own favorite moment I could mention.
Let's hear yours. I think I know.
Mine is going to surprise you.
Yeah.
It's the pre-recording on episode 1 when Javid started singing 3005
Oh.
by Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
And he just like kept going and going, and you and Dante were like arguing with each other. That was the funniest thing. If you haven't seen the clip, I'll attach it or I'll link it in the description below. But just a great little clip of just silly stuff happening right here on
He's
this
just
pod.
jamming. He's just jamming out, but like that's how good these mics are, because Dante and I are giving each other crap, and he's just like 2005. I think for me, like, I mean, I've really enjoyed all the guests. It was really cool. I mean, a lot of them I've known for a while, but it was like just really meeting. You know, Truwag was amazing. Just talking to him, and you know, talking with Kyle, Leslie. But man, I would say the one that was very intriguing that I actually pitched the podcast to over a year ago before I even had a podcast. Let me mind you, like, what, this came out in August, our podcast, was Steve Ewing.
Yeah.
And he's somebody that, like, I actually knew of Steve's Hot Dogs before I knew of what he has done, you know, and over the last few years really have learned a lot about The Urge, and I've seen him perform several times, and it's always a great show. But it was just really cool to hear his story, because I feel like, at least it seems amongst like my peers, they know him as from Steve's Hot Dogs. They don't realize this guy, like, I just saw him a few weeks ago,
was a touring artist for years and years and years.
Rock out the pageant, you know, and this guy used to headline festivals and talking about performing at Red Rocks, and you know, you start
Mississippi Nights,
like they were the last group to perform there. So that was very intriguing, and you know, he's somebody I admire, I respect, and just being able to actually sit down and talk to him is super cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a great moment. I agree. Let's go on to another good question here. What question are you most proud of asking to a guest? This is a tough one. I didn't feed any of these to him.
I was gonna say to anybody, or just like, I really enjoy ending the podcast with 3 people dead or alive, because it's very interesting. It seems like a lot of it's been, someone had a deceased family member. They would love to show how far they've come, and then they sprinkle in people that inspire them,
Yeah.
or someone that entertains them.
That's absolutely a very powerful question. For
Yeah,
sure.
so I really love that, and then also, I mean, I ask at every podcast, the words of wisdom, because I feel like that's very inspiring. 1 week we could, like, literally no one has said the same thing.
Yeah,
And every
that's true.
single week, it's just, I feel like it's a good way to end the episode with, like, leaving someone inspired. I think next season we need to start, like, chopping that up into, like, some of the clips for something.
Honestly, I've been hesitant to do that, and here's why. I feel like that is the bonus, that the people who actually listen to the whole episode, they get that at the end.
I agree.
And it's like that special thing. You can't just see this in the clip. Like, I've done one, maybe 2 clips the entire season that come from that, because it's like, that is the payoff that we're trying to give to these viewers, these loyal listeners.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because it's like, I love that. I love having that kind of relationship with certain people that, will listen to a whole podcast
Absolutely.
and get to that. But it's even like being able to speak in front of hundreds of people. Like we've had Ghostin on, a good friend of mine from college, and, I'm talking in front of his audience, introducing him in front of, 200 something people. And it was like the next night we recorded Opecast live in front of like 7. And so, like, talking to the masses is great, but then there was something about, like, Opecast live,
That narrow audience.
talking to 7. So those who are actually listening to the end of the podcast, I do appreciate you. Even just, I mean, dude, spending an hour each day on social media, we create this content that I hope I can get 7 seconds of your time. But like, people are tuning in and they listen to an average of, I think, 97% of the episode. I think that's what the average was the last time I saw it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Appreciate
No,
it.
it's amazing. Let's get into something a little bit different. So this is a bit of a, I don't know if you're going to want to even answer this question, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Nah, that's what the people want to hear then.
This is a fun one.
All right.
Beyond the podcast, as Braden STL, who was a partner that you enjoyed working with in the 2023 year? Somebody who you got to make content with, whether it was a sponsor or a collab, that you got to make something special with that you're really proud of. And, I can think of 10 different answers.
Damn. Yeah. So it's, to those listening, Jason knows how much stuff I do. Sometimes it's like hard for me.
Too much.
Like, it's like, people are like, oh, what are you up to today? And I'm like, or like my wife, she'll look at my calendar. Oh, you got this going on at 5. You got this going on at this. I was like, oh, wow, yeah, that is today, and I just go right into, I'm good at, like, compartmentalizing.
You know how United overbooks their flights? Braden overbooks his days. The same way.
But we make it work, man.
But he does not offer a $1,000 voucher. It's really annoying.
Yeah, but hey, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere.
He's everywhere.
As long as it's entertaining to me.
So tell me about which partner.
Man, company-wise, man, that's tough.
Maybe work and leisure?
Working. Oh, yeah, that's one that's going on right now. We have Avalanche. That is so much fun, too.
And you've done several events with them this year.
Yeah, so that's another. See, that's why he's the producer. I appreciate him. Man, I'm going to have to name a few. And I'm probably going to forget some, and I do apologize. But, Chef JR and I, like, we just click. We just gel. I have creative ideas, and he has creative ideas, and we're about executing. So having, like, the 314-day experience, they're at work and leisure, building that relationship with them. Him and I have done some other stuff here. Now we have Avalanche, this pop-up experience where we've had hundreds and hundreds of people come through. It's been a lot of fun. My big thing with that was I wanted everyone to have a good experience, and JR wants everyone to enjoy his food. Barkeep wants people to enjoy their drinks. Work and leisure, they're about the service. For me, it's like I had this creative idea for 2 years, and I wanted to make sure every little bit of the experience was great. The little details. So if you're looking at the posters at this pop-up, you're going to spot cardinals in every single poster. You're going to see a bunch of Easter eggs all over the place. And that could be like,
it's a beautiful curated experience.
Yeah, man, dude, it's literally like one person can notice there could be one person in a seating that noticed I made 30 posters that say 2001, 2007, right? One person can notice that, but that person's going to appreciate that detail. So working with them has been amazing. I always love the stuff, Dante and I'll do. Obviously, you and I with the podcast, and now here lately we're starting to be able to be more creative and get compensated with it. Delaware North, being able to be one of the first influencers, creators in all of baseball and all of stadiums in the world.
The food tour of Busch Stadium.
Literally ate every single dish in that stadium. I've been able to talk.
I feel like I have them just watching your videos.
It. Yeah, and you probably like seen like 80% of the videos. The two you probably were out of town and you missed when I posted, but it was like being able to like try all the dishes, and then I'm talking to like different people where there's John Jay, Jim Edmonds, Lars Nootbaar, things like that, and I'm just like, yeah, I've been able to eat all the food in the stadium, and that's like my claim to fame. Like those people have done things obviously for the Cardinals, but I'm like, yeah, I've been able to eat the food, so that was amazing. Midwest Dairy's always been amazing. Doing the coffee series, shout out to Tommy and John and their work on there. Being able to go to
that was a really cool series.
Yeah, the different coffee shops, man, that's been, dude, this is a good question. But yeah, like that was really fun. And like they're a good partner. They believe in the creativity. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, look, like dairy, coffee, it just goes well. And they've supported me last year too on the ice cream shop series I had. But
absolutely, yeah.
Those are a few that come to mind. If I'm forgetting others, I do apologize, but those are cool.
Some of the best ones to work with for sure. Yeah. I mean, and it's so nice when you can always, when you can actually, and it's so nice when you can actually find that fit between the creative idea and the company that can put the power behind it. Mm-hmm. Because it takes power to make these things. It's not just, oh, Braden's greedy and he wants to be making all this money. It's like, Braden is trying to pay all these creators to help him work on these shoots, these series, mm-hmm. all these different things. Like, he's trying to pay me. He's trying to pay the other videographers that he's worked with. He's trying to pay the other producers and creators that put all their work and effort into it. So,
and I'm big
when
on
those
that.
Companies do that, that's what they're paying for. That's what they're getting the value out of. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome when you can find a partner where they want to work on the creative idea that you're bringing out, or maybe even they bring a creative idea of their own. So,
and they're fueling that creator economy.
Exactly.
It's not, I'm not keeping 90% of the funds at all. It's like, okay, how much are you going to charge for this? How much for that? Okay, bam. Or, hey, I have this X amount of dollars. And we all have this like understanding, like there are things we do, our passion projects. But obviously we have to pay our light bill. We have to pay for our car bill, gas, things like that. And it's like, all right, let me help you. You're reaching out to me as a company, or, hey, I know you're trying to figure out, like, you're paying $200,000 a year and you can't figure out how to grow in this demographic or this market. Work with us creators. And so it's just, I'm very fortunate. I'm excited to see what partnerships come next year.
Absolutely. Let's change it up a little bit. We've already mentioned some of the musical artists here in St. Louis, but I got to ask, what was the best live performance experience that you went to
this year?
2023?
Oh, Beyonce.
Really?
Renaissance. Oh my God, man. That was a performance. Like, just seeing how everyone felt going in, they were excited. Like, it was really cool. And it was just like, it's very impressive. We're very fortunate to live in a time of longevity. Mm-hmm. Whether, you look at sports with Tom Brady just retired, but he was there for a long time.
Right.
You have Yadier Molina, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, right? And then you look at the music side and having Beyonce, like literally since I was 12 years old, and she puts on a show. She's out there dancing with her dancers. Absolutely. Are probably like, half her age, which I don't know how old she is. 30.
And how does that go into inspiring you when you see somebody perform at that level, at that intensity every night all over the country? How does that inspire you?
Oh, continuously evolving. Because, you see it sometimes in music or even just like sports too, but like someone hits a point and they just stay the same. And mm-hmm. I'll talk about this as someone that has been to like 20 country concerts, maybe 30 country concerts. And I'm looking at tickets at going to a show in April here, right? I love country, but the music itself, they don't really reinvent themselves that often. The overall, like you kind of know, like I've seen Kenny Chesney, I think in 2011, I saw mm-hmm. him in 2022. If he comes back to Busch Stadium next year, I'm going to go see him again, right? But I know exactly what to expect. Nothing has changed. Mm-hmm. But like someone like Beyonce has continuously changed and evolved. And for me, in what I do creatively, I'm motivated to keep changing. I've noticed a lot of the things that I was doing 2 years ago, most people in St. Louis are now doing. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the mic.
So you got to be steps ahead. You got to be moving differently. You got to be creating and inspiring, building new themes, building new tours.
Yeah, and the difficult part about that is like the things that I'm doing 2 years ago. The masses in, let's just say, St. Louis, even the companies are starting to be like, yeah, I love that. I got to have that. But I'm continuously trying to move forward, keep being creative, starting to do skits with Murr of Impractical Jokers, right?
Yeah.
Like big stuff like that. And
realizing the ideas that have been there, realizing the goals that have been there.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to keep moving forward, but now it's like I'm having to sell to the companies like, this is what's going to be the thing. And they're like, well, no, we kind of like this thing you did 2 years ago that everyone else is doing. And it's like, guys, like I set a lot of the trends here.
That's how it goes. So I got an interesting question for you here. Who are some of the guests that you'd like to have on the next season? Give us, 2, 3.
What do you think on do you want to, let's do 2 or 3 St. Louis and then national.
Yeah, let's do that.
St. Louis, man, actually, that one's tough. Dude, if I can get, I'm going to just say if I get some NBA guys,
Yeah.
I used to be huge in the NBA. Not me, actually.
And now you're still huge, actually.
Yeah, I'm
you
huge.
You are still however tall you?
6'5".
6'5", yeah.
Yeah. I used to watch all the games and stuff. Lately, in the last year, I've been very busy. I would say some of the NBA guys, talk to them. And then maybe some of the music talent in our city, whether it's some of the legends that have been in the game for decades or maybe some that are the biggest in the world right now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely open to that. I'm not going to say like any person in particular. I would just say someone in those realms because those are some of the people I highly respect. And I wouldn't mind even having someone that's like a legend that's been putting, St. Louis on the map for decades.
I would say don't hesitate to call somebody out. I mean, if you want to get them on the pod, this is a chance to get them on the pod right now.
Yeah. We know how that works, though. If I start saying names, they'll be like, dang, I got to get that person before Braden. So those are my realms. But, I mean, you know what? I'll put it out there. If I can get John Goodman on the podcast, that'd be awesome, right? Like, I remember, or my wife told me about the time she met him. I was down at Missouri State. She was working at the ticket office.
Mm-hmm.
And she, all of a sudden, like, heard this voice that sounded like Sully from Monsters, Inc., right?
Immediately recognizable, for
right.
Sure.
John Goodman. So I think it would be great. I would love to sit down with him and just have a conversation about just all the roles he's played. He went to Missouri State also.
Yep.
He went to a school close to where I went. He went to Afton High School back in the day. So just
wow,
he's been able to do a lot in all different kinds of movies. So that would be a really cool interview. So that's one person I will say because that one's going to be a stretch. So if someone's watching this and can make that happen, I think that'd be cool.
I mean, I would say go ahead and throw a couple more out there. Drop some more names, Braden.
All right.
Speak your mind. Who do you want on this show? Who do you want in this chair?
In this chair? Let's get Metro Boomin. Let's get Metro Boomin on the podcast. I think that'd be great. I respect and admire the stuff that he's done. Literally, I've talked about it so many times. He has shaped music. It's incredible. He just got the key to the city, which is an incredible achievement. I think he's 30. And just, I know a lot of people in the music circle here in St. Louis, and I see how much they inspire him, and it's really cool. And he always gives back, so that's great.
Yeah, I actually got the pleasure to meet him last year when he dropped the album, and he did the signing at the record store. I can't remember what it's called right now. When he did the vintage vinyl record signing for the album release, it was really cool. I mean, I just briefly said hi to him, but really nice guy, great team. Everybody there working with him was nice. Mm-hmm. And he was given, every individual person who was standing there in line, whether they were there for hours or for minutes waiting in line, he was giving them their time. And he was talking to them, and he was listening to what they had to say and actually forming a relationship with his fans. And that's something that I always appreciate. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people that, too, when I see a celebrity doing that or somebody of stature doing that. I'm like, hey, man, like, thank you, for giving your time to all these people who give their time to you.
Yeah, well, it's funny you're saying that too, because we were on the red carpet there at the Black and White Ball, mm-hmm. and we were at the very end of the line, right? It's all these people.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, it's all these people that were invited. They're part of the media, right? They're part of different news outlets, so they're all there. They all have prime locations.
And then they got us influencers over in the corner.
Yeah, so we're over there, we're in the corner and stuff, and so we're kind of like which is,
we're the end of the line. They've already talked to 7 other interviewers. They've already talked to the news channels and the, all of the characters of St. Louis.
Yeah,
and then there's us.
And it's like, dude, that's what's so crazy. They're like getting invited for being Braden STL and someone that had, we started a podcast 3-4 months ago, but having that personality, it's a blessing to be invited. But yeah, like it was really cool because Nelly, they actually told him like, hey, you got to go in because the event had started, but he was committed to making, talking to everybody just for a few minutes, and they're like, no, you for real got to go. And he's like, no, I got this. And I think there was one other person right in front of me. I was like, oh, he's gonna have to go. And then he got done talking to him, but he looked at me. He's like, I got you. And they're like, no, for real. Like, you need to go in now. And he's like, no. I'm gonna give them my time. And so literally, when the clip comes out, you guys will see it was only about a minute and a half. But he could easily say, hey, sorry, I'll catch you later.
Yeah.
And go in. But he was able to talk to me. He was able to talk to somebody else. So I just respect that. Taking the time to just speak.
Absolutely.
That event, that was crazy. That's opened up my mind to interviewing so many other people. I don't know who.
Yeah.
I'm just open to, if you've done like really cool, crazy things that can inspire the masses, like I'd love to have them on the podcast because I feel like there are a lot of people that I don't even know about that I'll learn about that I would love to talk
and there's
to.
people that are on the way to do it too.
Oh yeah.
So many of the people that you've had on already and so many of the people that we're working on right now trying to get on are on that path. It's very clear. It's like they are doing the thing now. They are putting the reps in. They are getting their hours up, their skills. They're going to take over. They're going to do they're going to do what they deserve to do. They're going to get the recognition that they deserve.
The toughest part that's going to be even like there's so many people I've had to push off like, hey, let's circle back January, February, get you on the podcast. There are so many people that I know I can text or I can message and get them on here. It's going to be tough. Like hopefully, we bring on some sponsors and we can be a twice a week interview because there are just that many people doing great things.
Right. Here. Absolutely. So many great stories to highlight and tell. Let's see. Let's change it up a little bit. So what is something that somebody on the podcast said this season that surprised you? Like what was the biggest surprise that you heard out of this seat this season?
Like in wow, I didn't realize you did that kind of. Steve Ewing, when he was talking about performing at Red Rocks, I've been there for a few shows, and it's just such an iconic place. For those who don't know, it's a venue built into the mountains there in right outside Denver, and the sun sets. It's a beautiful view of the skyline, and then usually by the time it sets, the headliner comes on, and it's one of those things that if you can ever go see a show there, it doesn't matter who's performing. Go see a show there. That's like one of those like if you live in America, that should be.
It's a special experience no matter who it is.
Yeah, and I got fortunate. I got to see Wiz and Snoop there once, and then
that's awesome.
Seeing Stevie Wonder, who casually brought out Usher to sing with him, right? But like learning about Steve and just how like he was able to perform there. He's talking about the insides of, it's like the dressing room is actually built into the mountains. It's not like your wall is what is it? Cement, whatever, it's not like drywall and all that. So that part was really cool. It's just very intriguing. He's lived a crazy, amazing life with the stories.
That was a really good interview. I would have to agree. Let's see. What is something that you want to see happen first with the podcast and then second in this community, in this state in the year 2024?
Community as far as this podcast community?
I mean St. Louis.
St. Louis?
Yeah.
I would say what I want to see with this podcast, my goal, and I'll keep saying this, I really want to work with St. Louis companies first. So I want everybody that listens to this podcast, that watches this, to understand that like my goal is St. Louis. If you guys see me working with companies outside of St. Louis, just know that I pitched it to our city first. I want to give them these opportunities before I open it up to companies outside St. Louis. So would love to have some sponsors. Like look how much we've been able to do and how many opportunities we've had without sponsors, right?
Absolutely.
So once we start getting those sponsors, it
only multiplies
crazy.
from there.
Yeah, and it's like making sure everyone that works on a podcast can be compensated for their time, but yeah, it's just, I would love to bring on sponsors and then being able to, show love to the people listening to the podcast. I think it's amazing, the community. I would say for my community and the people that listen to this, I want you guys to continue to stay like just motivated, inspired. Just, at the end of the day, I'm this guy from South City. Like a lot of people that listen to this that I know like message me about the episodes, they've been following me from the beginning. And so they see all this stuff that I'm doing. It's inspiring them. My goal is to show people that like anything and everything is possible in this digital age. You don't have to, I mean, yeah, I went off to school and I did that kind of stuff, MBA and all that, but it's like, you can create your own like path with social media and
Absolutely
create your own business. It's just right now, I think it's really in our city. I would say when I say community, I guess like with the city, just educate them on the value. I hope right now it's more of they just don't know and understand versus taking advantage of.
I love to say it like this. Like we all do our best to support local.
Yes.
Support local restaurants, support local clothing shops, support local everything that we can. I would only hope that those local businesses will do the same when it comes to advertising. Instead of giving all their money to Meta, Facebook, whatever you're going to call it, instead of advertising on X or YouTube or whatever, advertise local.
Yeah.
Work with local creators. Bring people in through a genuine network instead of just throwing dollars at the platforms that exist,
Well, and a lot of companies, I was the first influencer or creator to work with them. We had 2020, 2021, so my goal is really helping those local businesses get back up and running. A lot of those places are doing great. They're opening up 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th locations. They're in arenas and stadiums, and it's, you kind of ask them now, like, hey, can we work on this, or can you sponsor that? And it's no, or they leave you on red, or maybe it's their agency, whoever's working their social media.
Right.
But it's just like, we were there for you. I'll look at the camera and say this, like,
we want to grow together.
We want to grow together. I really want to work with St. Louis companies and businesses. I really, really want to keep everything local. And like I said before, if I start working with companies outside of St. Louis, it's because they're supporting what I'm doing. And I just hope the St. Louis community and businesses can support what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to keep creating, man. I'm going to keep shining a light like on our city, on our creators. Like, if you're listening, I appreciate you for listening. Or watching. I appreciate it. I don't know. Does this seem like I'm going on rants right here?
No, I think this is good.
I feel a way. Like guys, let's stay local. Let's keep it local. Stop paying Meta. Keep it organic.
And Google too.
And Google.
We know. We see you. We see you specifically car dealerships advertising in your competitors' search.
Mm-hmm.
We see you. Advertise with creators. Let's get into it. So
before you get into
go ahead. Sorry.
There are companies that have, and they're really good partners now. And they know the value. They see the value. They're doing very, very, very well. So if you're listening, you're watching, just know they're doing very well.
The results are there.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else, but they are like.
That's what's important. The results are there. I got a couple final questions for you. So first I want to ask you, who are 3 people in St. Louis that you would love to highlight or shout out to, or, push this audience to go check out, even if they haven't been on the podcast before, or even past guests?
Damn, 3? That is tough. Every day I'm inspired by somebody that wasn't on the podcast that I think they may be in a queue to be on the podcast.
That's fine too.
Dang, 3 people that people should go check out. Or listen, observe. I'm going to have Maxa, the DJ. I'm going to have her on the podcast. She's actually part of the Winter Renaissance we're doing at Avalanche, which by the time this episode comes out, it's tonight.
Yeah.
Just respect the hustle everywhere. Eddie C, he's the homie. I feel like we all just have this mutual respect for one another. We all look at each other like, damn, you're out here working, you're everywhere. There are so many other people, like Chris from Profield. I wanted to go to his event the other night, but I had another engagement. Together we ball. Like I love seeing that stuff. Man, I feel bad. I'm leaving out so many people, but
That's
those
all
are
right. I only asked for 3.
yeah, those are 3, and it's actually funny because last weekend was Together We Ball. I have Max. She's gonna be at the event on Thursday, and then I'm trying to change up my next. I think this Saturday Eddie has a show over there at the, I can't think of the name, Center Theater or something, the KDHX building, whatever.
Gotcha.
Central Theater. But like those 3 are on my mind right now.
Yeah.
Even like Mastermind. I think a lot of people know who he is and what he's done, but God, there's so many people. It's hard.
And I'm going to ask you another, just as an annoying hard question. Give us it's not Foodie Friday, but give us a few businesses that people should go check out in St. Louis. And it doesn't have to just be food. It could, like you just said, Profield. That's a great example.
Yeah, Profield, yes. Love what Chris is doing there. I need to go there more. I feel like, so I grew up right off Cherokee Street,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of interesting. I don't go there as often as I used to. Well, I guess because I grew up there, right? Right there off Nebraska. But it's like I need to go back and spend more time there. Every time I go get a haircut, it's right there on Cherokee Street. So then at that point, I'll go by some business on my way.
That's dope.
Reginald there at Teatopia, awesome place. He recently got into coffee, and he had the best like pumpkin spice latte of the season. He just got into coffee like a month ago or 2 months ago, like selling it, and he's a tea place.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, it was really good. So, I mean, gosh, there are so many good spots there on Cherokee Street. I would say I think Ernesto's kind of closer to where I live now is just such a great place. I don't know if I would say underrated because they get a lot of love,
Mhm.
but I think people often think like if you're outside of the 270 bubble, you think just the Hill. But Ernesto's is a great place to visit. There's also
Beyond food.
Beyond.
I know
Food.
this is a hard question because you're a foodie. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But beyond food, give me something. Give me something to do. Give me somewhere to go. Give me an experience or a.
I think our city has, you think about the bigger cities like New York, Chicago, that have these skylines you see
Mhm.
everywhere. And I think our city has good skylines, but like taking in the sunset and sunrise of our cities in Forest Park, or of our city in Forest Park, it's good for the soul. It's good for the mental health. I'm very busy nowadays, but I still stay true to like once a week going on that sunrise walk around Forest Park.
Oh, that's great.
During the pandemic, that could have been 6-7 days a week going on long walks, but that's like that one thing where I kind of reset. So an activity in our city, something that you enjoy, a view that you enjoy, even if that's the Arch or Art Hill, whatever, taking a sunrise, taking a sunset. If you've had a really long day, you don't want to deal with people, or you got a busy day coming up, like that's just mentally a good way to remind you, like just to remember that today's a day, right? You're going to get through it. It's going to be good. The sunrise and sunset's just beautiful. Helps you reflect. I'll put on some like chilled music too. So that kind of encompasses like, cause then, you're in Forest Park, so you can go to the zoo. You can go like the zoo. Like, I just walk around there. I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm going to go look at a cheetah. I'm going to look at a giraffe. I'm going to go
Yeah,
look
no,
at
it's
hippos.
it's an underused asset of our St. Louis community. It's free.
Yeah.
Go there. Experience it.
So that I'm definitely walking around Cherokee Street. A lot of heart and soul of the city. That's there. God, Delmar. I think people think it's just for concerts, but there's so many different restaurants.
Yeah.
I would say
Corner 17.
Yeah, Corner 17. Just finding a place to like don't just treat it like a destination. Like I'm going to the pageant, I'm going home. Like just actually
Find a place to go spend your time. Go spend several hours patronizing multiple places.
just be.
Yeah.
Like
I like that.
Like you can just go to one place for a drink. Even sometimes like when I do go out of town, I may just say I'm gonna grab coffee at this place, and that place could be known for the best breakfast. Maybe I will grab some food, but maybe I'll go someplace else for coffee. I'll go there for the food. Go somewhere else, like just vacation in your own city. St. Louis has so much to offer. It's kind of interesting. Some people are like, so I don't care. I'm not going in there into the city because XYZ is happening. I'm like, go there in the daytime.
Yep.
They're
Go there whenever.
But yeah, so really explore. Oh, I would say, man, even Union Station. Like I love going there around the holidays. We need to get them to sponsor this pod. I could talk all about like I love what they've done there. I love being able to take my niece. I think if I didn't have my niece, I wouldn't really go there that often. That I would say experiencing sports in its prime.
Absolutely.
And when I say prime, like any soccer match is crazy. It's great, incredible atmosphere. Baseball, I love them games. I think people go there a lot of times just for the experience. So go there to try different food, but also go there at, the Friday, Saturday night, like primetime Cubs. I think this year the Red Sox are coming in. Like you got to go to some of these primetime games to really get a feel. Hockey, got to go to a rivalry game. Because, sometimes when people get the free ticket from a friend or family, it's on the game you don't really want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So splurge sometimes and go to those big things.
So, Brad and I got a couple final questions for you.
Okay.
This first one's an interesting one. What is something that this audience doesn't know about you that you want to share with them right now?
Do people know that I'm married? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say, obviously married my high school sweetheart, been together 15 years.
You guys went to college together too, as well.
Yeah. Like she went off a year at Missouri State, then I came a semester into it. But yeah, like I don't know, like I'm making noises and stuff. No, like I don't know how many people know that, but I'm married. She's very.
How many years have you guys been married?
8.
8 years. Wow.
Yeah, so 8 years together. I guess about 15. It kind of gets hard to like keep up with the numbers there.
I understand.
But yeah, no, like she's supportive, and
all of this wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, like
without her. I'm very sure of that.
I mean, all the time, right? I give up a lot of time to go to different events, highlight different things, and try to bring people together. And a lot of times people are like, "Where's your wife? Where's your wife?" Like, you got to think, how many days a week am I going to events? 6 days. So
yeah,
is that fair for her to go to these events 6 days a week? You know what I mean? It's like, so she has her things that she goes to that I know she enjoys, and I'll make sure she's comfortable. But none of this, is possible without her. She gives up some of our time, and I try to always like make sure I can try to balance it, or maybe I'm hanging out at home early in the morning if I know
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be out late. I need to work better on my timing sometimes. Like I
think we all can. I think that's basically everybody. That's a universal human experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it's all about time management.
I've lost track of the concept of time since 2020. So I'll be like, I mean, what is this? We're pushing at 6 o'clock. I need to go over to Avalanche, which I mean, it's a great team here. They can run without me, but it's like time. I just lose track of it, and I just enjoy being a lot of times. Like even in this moment, talking to you, my phone's over there. I toss it so I'm not distracted. A lot of people, one thing that's interesting is what's that word called? Like the relationship people feel like they have with you that they've gotten through social media.
Parasocial relationship.
Parasocial, yeah. It's like a lot of people think all I do is spend time on my phone, and I do use that a lot, but it's
no, it's amazing how infrequently Braden checks his TikTok DMs.
Yeah, I'm behind. Yeah, my wife sends like I fall so far behind, but I was like, I realized many years ago, I'm like, man, a lot of people are addicted to phones, and I caught myself just aimlessly scrolling, and I'm like, why don't I figure out a way to make
put content on there and not be consumed by the content in there?
Yeah, I need to watch more content. I'm not gonna lie. Like
no, it's to the point where I got to send you inspiration because you won't see it otherwise.
Yeah, I just keep creating, and it's but yeah, I just live and then I create. People will text me, call me, and I'm just like, if you really need me, call me twice.
Yeah, that's true.
Keep texting me. Like it's nothing ever personal. I don't ever say, oh, this person I can't pay, unless like I'm at like a show or something. But I try, guys. I try to respond. I mean, all the emails, DMs, comments, whatever, text.
It adds up. It gets crazy, man.
Sheesh.
Well, to end the podcast, we have 2 questions that we really like to ask all of our guests. The first one is a classic. If you could have dinner with 3 people that are alive, who would they be? Where would you be? And what would you be eating?
I kind of thought you would ask this. Like I thought for half a second, then me, I was busy. I was on to like, I got to go do this. I would say LeBron, Dwayne Johnson, Beyonce.
It's a good group.
Dang, it's 3. Is that what I usually
Yep.
ask people?
Mhm.
Oh man, yeah, because we're at a table. Honorable mention, I would say Kevin Hart. But
Oh, that's a good one.
yeah, but
He'd be the one short person out of all the people you just said.
yeah. He'll be the one short one. But I would say at least for those 3, I'm just inspired. Longevity. Used to watch Dwayne Johnson. If you smell, blah, 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 blah. I dress up like him every year for Halloween. I'm like,
And we all love it.
dude, he's like the only other like 6'5" light skinned guy that like I'm like, all right, he was in this movie, that movie, this one, that one. Okay, I'm gonna do this year, next year, and but yeah, LeBron, I mean, it's still crazy. Like since I was 12, 13 years old.
Such an incredible career.
It's a Christmas like tradition.
And beyond just career, like LeBron has been such a thought leader and such an outspoken athlete. He's impacted the world in so many ways beyond what he does on the court. And that's an inspiration to everyone to go outside of their job and to do things that are beyond what is in their lane and inspire others.
Yeah, and he, personal brand, like taught a lot of players, a lot of people about branding, and just it's crazy. But like every year for Christmas, it's part of the plans. Watching him play on Christmas Day, and it's crazy. I've done that, I guess, 18, 19, 20 years of my life. Wow.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. But yeah, very inspired by him. I've watched him play so much. Actually, the first time I bought an iPhone was my wife and I. We were headed up to see him play in it was a preseason game in Kansas City. I think Brad Beal just got signed by the Wizards with John Wall. And dude, we paid $80 and we're right by the tunnel where all the players
That's awesome.
were. So it was like, where they come out, you're giving handshakes to Dwayne Wade, Shane Battier, Ray Allen. You don't know any of these guys.
No, I don't. You're right.
They're all legends. They're all legends. Chris Bosh, that team.
These are some legendary names that I've heard of, but I don't know them well enough.
Gosh, dude, that was such a great thing. I went there for 3 straight years. It was Kansas City. I think it was like, I forgot what it's called now, Sprint Center, T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah.
The next year, they played the Warriors, but that's when LeBron left. But that's the first year the Warriors won the championship. And I was paying $80 to literally sit at the tunnel.
That's great. And Beyonce?
Yeah, Beyonce, probably my first crush. I think Ashanti was like right there too, But yeah.
So that's why you wanted to go talk to Ashanti at the...
Do you want to tell the people that story?
So Braden and I, we're standing there. We're there for 3 hours at the Black and White Ball, which is an event hosted by Nelly.
Yeah.
Like his name is on the event. And Nelly is making his way down the line, and Braden's like, oh my gosh, look, Ashanti's over there. Let's go get a photo with her. Let's go see if we can interview her. I'm like, Braden.
All by herself too, like no security. I think security was like 20, 30 feet away. I'm like,
Braden, Nelly is right there. He's working his way to us. We are here to get the interview with Nelly. We're going to stop here. We're going to wait here, and we're going to get the interview with Nelly. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you had walked away, we would not have gotten that interview.
Nope, we wouldn't. So shout out to Jason. That's why he's
I'm always producing, man. I'm always producing.
Don't forget why I was like, you're right. And then it all worked out. But yeah, no, just inspired. Beyonce, just the growth. I mean, it's funny because people, it's interesting how people think. They're like, oh, I don't listen to this person. I haven't listened to them since this. And they don't even play this person on the radio. And it's like, we're past the radio days.
Yeah.
Like, if you really start learning the politics of the music industry, you understand why certain music's pushed and certain's not. But the longevity and just the way she's been able to inspire people, it's been incredible.
Absolutely. And of course, to our final question, I got to ask you, what are some words of wisdom that you'd like to give to just the general audience out there, people, maybe somebody who wants to be a creator, somebody who could be an influencer just like yourself?
Trust the process.
Interesting.
Just trust the process. I think it was back in like 2016, 17, Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers were saying like, trust the process. And so I've come to realize, I was like, you know what, if I just put the work in and put my all in, like, just trust the process. You're not always going to do great. You're not always going to win. You're going to lose. You're going to get told no 80, 90% of the time. But when you trust the process, you end up in situations where you're meeting people that you looked up to, being able to just talk to them casually, DM them. You'll be able to throw out a first pitch. You'll be able to be in magazines and put yourself in a situation where you're confident as you go into a new year to really change your own life and have more control of things. But it's trusting the process. Now, if you're not putting that work in, like, every day is not going to be a great day. You're going to have days where you're just fatigued, you're tired, you don't want to do it. But, I think it was Kobe. He's like, don't let a few bad days knock you off your course. Life's going to ebb, it's ebbs and flows. Like, you're going to have great weeks, bad weeks, but don't let that knock you off of your course. And so I always trust the process. I know that if I really want to do something, I want to get something and make it happen, I know I can. Sometimes it may take a while, and when I started this, I did not expect to throw pitches, red carpets, any of that. But I trust the process. I trust the work, my work ethic.
It's the hard work that got you there, not the desire to do those specific things necessarily, but it's the hard work that put it there.
Yeah, like
made those opportunities available to you.
I was doing some stuff yesterday to promote Avalanche, and I went to a place and was telling the person what I did, and he was like, "Oh yeah, show me, like some of the stuff you do." And I showed him. He's like, "Wait, that's you? That's your video? Oh man, I see that. Oh, I know who you are. But it's like I was like, yeah, no one sees the behind the scenes, the work.
Right.
I feel like there, maybe about 5 to 10 people, like at least in my close circle, that we all know. Like, we may not talk much, but we know the work that goes into this.
Absolutely.
The time, the commit. Like, you got to be committed. Nothing's handed to you. It may look like Braden's always doing something that's like a highlight and this and that, but you get to hear all the stuff, or not all, but a lot of the stuff I'm dealing with, a lot of the headaches. How do you get people here? How do you get people there? How do you, it's a lot of work. So trust the process, put that work in, and you're going to get the results. You're not, and I'm the type of person, like, I set objectives more than goals. Like, goals is like, dang, I hit that and I'm done. Mm-hmm. But an objective, I think, is more of a lifestyle of getting there.
Continuously improving.
Like, if you ask me what my goals are for 2024, I'm like, I have objectives. I have ideas. I know there are things I want to do, and I will do, and I'm going to put the work into it. But I don't want to just say it's a goal.
Right. That's a great mindset. And if I may actually throw my own words of wisdom out
there. What's that?
I know this isn't my episode, but we'll get one for me eventually. We'll see.
Yeah.
Season 2, Season 3, we'll see. Excuse me. Wow.
I thought you were about to start singing like Figaro. Like you did it.
Could you imagine if I'd just been holding back this whole time? I was like, Braden, you should get somebody on the podcast to sing, and I really meant me the whole time.
Oh my god.
No.
Breaking news.
No, I can't sing. What I was gonna actually, but yes, so my actual words of wisdom for you guys. This is something that I feel that my high school taught to me really well, and somehow other people in my high school didn't get the same thing. I don't know how they missed it. Mm-hmm. Never stop your thirst for learning. If you're not learning, you're not winning. If you're not learning, you're not living. If you're not learning, you can't move forward. It doesn't have to be just about one topic. You can learn anything. You can just take the time and be excited about learning and grow yourself, your mental game. You'll never have a bad day in your life because there's always that win where you took that time to spend learning.
It's amazing. That's amazing because, I get to talk to students, and I'm like, you guys don't realize how great of a time we are in when it comes to learning and knowing almost anything and everything, or being able to at least have all the, a bunch of resources in front of you. And,
and there's a resource for every attention span. You can read books, you can read articles, you can listen to audiobooks, you can do podcasts, you can do TikToks, you can do YouTube videos. You can do these all on every single subject. There's somebody out there making that content for you to listen to and to learn. And
someone that you're going to find that you like too.
An expert even.
Yeah, it's like they're all different kinds of like, how do you take care of plants, They're going to be someone that's going to draw your attention, my attention, someone else's. But it's what I was going to say there was, I'll talk to kids like, hey, or excuse me, young adults. Mm-hmm. So how many times are you guys on Google each day? Are you guys on YouTube each day? And they're always like, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course.
How do you find your music videos? Oh, I'll just Google it or YouTube it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you guys, I'm here to talk to you today about this problem, talking about branding, talk about advertising, marketing, content creation. So I'm here to help you guys, right? How do you find out something if you don't know the answer? Oh, I go on Google, I go on YouTube. I'm like, so I want you guys to go on Google and YouTube right now and to start learning those things. But yeah, like myself, I learned, I don't even know how many times on YouTube, Google. I learn new skills all
Incredible
the time.
tools.
Crap, yeah. Oh yeah, also another thing you guys don't know about me, I work in improv. I do improv classes too. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
We'll see where that goes. But yeah, man, great words of wisdom. So then when you're on the pod, you got to have something else now.
Dang. I guess I do.
But just once again, thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Thank you to Tech Artiste, Chris. I know you're he listens every week. You know, he'll listen, he'll watch, and I do appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to sitting down with you. He takes notes, so I'm looking forward to that. Zach, same thing. Jason, you know, we'll sit down, we'll talk. Appreciate the work you've put into this. We've learned a lot. I continue to learn a lot by myself. Preparation. Sometimes we go a month without recording. I'm like, how do I start this off with? Or like, what do I say?
It's been a minute. Even like right now, it's been, I can't even think of the last time that we recorded.
I don't even want to think about
Maybe
it.
Steve Ewing.
Steve or Luke.
Yeah.
Lucas. One of them. But it's like, yeah,
Weeks
man,
ago.
I would say like this isn't possible. It takes a team, and having Jason here, having Dante to help out at times with equipment, setting up, things like that. It's not possible without you. And so appreciate you.
Absolutely, man.
If you're listening, thank Jason. Jason, how can people follow you?
I'm at JD2RS everywhere, including Cash App if you want to send me some.
Hey, send up some Cash App money, guys.
But yeah, no, I'm at JD2RS. I do drifting content. I do media. I make videos for Braden. I make videos with other awesome people, and find me there. Ask me questions. If you want to learn about being a podcast producer, I'm not going to give you everything for free, but like I'll help you. I'll help you out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll throw some game your way every now and then.
And if you guys want to if you need a place to produce a podcast, to have a podcast where all you got to do is show up. You got to be professional, obviously, show up on time, hey, hour, 2 hours, you got this budget. Like we have the space.
Yes, we do.
And we have the producer, Jason, that can help guide you. And yeah, this has been a good episode. I feel like this is like therapy. I'm opening up for the season. It's been fun. I've learned a lot, and I'm ready to just
maybe we should start doing these mid-season as well instead of just at the end.
Yeah, maybe mid-season, like a good 15-minute
digest all the 10 episodes we just had, kind of thing.
Yeah, like maybe after we do, because if this is episode 19,
I believe this is 19. Yeah.
So then Dante is episode 20. So if you're listening, happy holidays, episode 20. Dante and I will figure that out. And if you guys want to come visit us live, we have to do it live.
Yeah, when are we going to do this one with Dante, man?
I guess I just put it out there. So Dante and I will do a live one. Maybe
we'll figure it out sometime soon. Probably January.
Yeah, it's too cold outside. Maybe Lutopia or something. I think we could do that.
Maybe Work and Leisure. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, happy holidays. Appreciate you guys.
See you next year. This is going to be the last episode of the 2023 year. So thanks for listening. We're going to take off next week because it's the holiday week. And we'll be back in January at some point.
Yeah. See you guys next year.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Opecast. Now, this wouldn't be possible without all of your support. My producer, Jason, my friends here at Tech Artista. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Follow us on Instagram at Opecast the Pod or TikTok. So until next time, peace.